Electronic Arts has had probably one of the worst launches that you could have for a game with Star Wars Battlefront 2. That is in large part due to their own ignorance and just the things that you should not say to try and justify incorporating monetization schemes, which in this case was loot boxes and microtransactions. Besides just that mess, Electronic Arts has continued saying things that you should not say, for the most part coming from EA's CFO Blake Jorgensen, who defended not going with cosmetic microtransactions, blaming Star Wars canon, and that Darth Vader in pink would not be right. Although using the most extreme example to try to justify a money grab has not gone over very well with fans. And especially since you have Darth Maul and Rey on the same battlefield, that kinda defeats the reasoning of Star Wars canon in the multiplayer. But Jorgensen also gave us a better understanding of why Visceral's Uncharted-like Star Wars game was scrapped, saying quote-unquote, "As we kept reviewing the game, it continued to look like a much more linear game which people don't like as much today as they did 5 years ago or 10 years ago." He also continued saying it was an economic decision at the end of the day, and that they probably let this go a little further than they should have. His final thoughts on this cancelled Star Wars game puts a lot of this in perspective, and it's that EA only cares about the money, which, well, maybe that's kind of obvious, but Jorgensen said, "You gotta cut the bridge when you realize you can't make a lot of money on something." For the last month or two, Electronic Arts has been getting consistently dissed and roasted, and it's because of how they handled Star Wars Battlefront 2 and their justification of turning Visceral's Star Wars game from a linear Uncharted-like adventure into a games as service. Oh, and obviously Visceral Games being shut down. I mean, EA is the killer of game studios for a reason. Video game publisher Devolver Digital began making jokes right after Visceral was announced to be getting shut down by EA, saying on Twitter, "If ex-Visceral folks want a spiritual successor to that EA game into a Spaceballs project, give us a holler." A few weeks later, right in the middle of the whole uproar over Star Wars Battlefront 2's anti-consumer and manipulative microtransactions, Blizzard Entertainment posted on November 14th this advertisement for StarCraft 2 going free to play.
"Dad, I'm getting wrecked. Can't I buy some stronger units?"
Buy units? Son, we don't talk like that in this house. Come with me. Your grandfather didn't give his life just so his grandson could pay money to be good at something.
But, Dad, Grandpa's still alive.
And your mother. She wanted to bring you into a world where you'd be judged by your elite skills, not by what you spend.
To November 19th, CD Projekt Red, developers of The Witcher 3, responded to comments made by fans regarding the possibility that there could be microtransactions in their upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077. They said, "Worry not, when thinking Cyberpunk 2077, think nothing less than The Witcher 3. Huge single-player open-world, story-driven RPG, no hidden catch, you get what you pay for, no bullshit, just honest gaming like Wild Hunt. We leave greed to others." Because of the timing, many people have seen this response as a nice jab at Electronic Arts and other publishers that go all in on their greedy and manipulative monetization schemes. But getting back again to Devolver Digital, they also took a nice little shot at EA over Blake Jorgensen's "people don't like linear games as much anymore" comments, in which they said Devolver Digital is canceling all linear Star Wars games in development, effective immediately. I mean, say what you want about Devolver Digital's published games, but besides just these comments in their really strange and weird E3 presentation this year, they're a fun company. But also on the same day, Cory Barlog, the director of the upcoming God of War game, posted his thoughts on Jorgensen's comments saying, "Oh dear God, EA, just utter nonsense." Previously, a day after Visceral was shut down back in October, Cory also gave these comments on single-player games saying, "I love linear single-player games. Saddens me when the word linear is considered a bad thing. You can have agency in a linear story game." A now ex-Visceral Games employee responded with, "Well put, man. It was really weird at the office. Everyone was shocked." Moving along to the Game Awards on November 7th, Electronic Arts got roasted. Zachary Levi began with this joke.
"And the Game Award goes to, oh man, I have to pay a microtransaction to unlock. That's so stupid that this has to, hold on, I got this, guys, here we go. You know it's true. It's really stupid.
And then Joseph Ferries, a developer working with EA, gave this very odd response to the current EA situation.
And this is my idea. It doesn't have anything with the EA shit going on, with the loot box and stuff.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Look. I'm going to say to you one thing. EA has been very good to me.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, because it's nice to hate EA, blah, blah. I don't care about that shit. What I'm saying is this. All publishers fuck up sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
That's how it is. They fuck up.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Like, in this case, it's like they've been treating me very well. That's what I'm saying. I have 100% of the income to my team for the game I'm doing, you know?
And it's coming soon, right?
Yeah, it's coming. I'm talking too long.
Additionally, Bethesda, one of the biggest supporters of single-player games, also took a nice jab at EA with this video featuring Linda Carter.
Every hour around the globe, neglected gamers feel lonely, shunned by their multiplayer counterparts. But here at Bethesda, we are working toward a solution. We make all sorts of games, but single-player experiences are a big part of our DNA. Today, I'm here to talk to you about something serious. The need to save single-player gamers. Everyday gamers in search of a single-player experience are left behind. Forgotten, neglected. Many were rescued and found their way into amazing adventures, but others, well, they weren't as fortunate. We can end the pain for single-player gamers in need. Right? We work together.
But it did not stop there. At the PlayStation experience, even Sony chimed in and basically dissed Electronic Arts.
One of the reasons I'm so pleased to see Horizon be such a huge hit is because, well, it's a single-player game. And I love single-player games. I mean, I think it's fair to say it seems like people still want them. What do you think?
I've answered that question.
What is your vision for PlayStation in 2018?
Well, I think we continue along our path, putting my Worldwide Studios hat on. I think in Worldwide Studios we have a lot of energy, a lot of devotion, a lot of love around storytelling, around narrative. You know, some people call that single-player gaming. We do have most of our eggs in that basket, just because that's the thing we do well, I think. In my humble opinion, IMHO. And I don't want to go to any of those teams and tell them, you know, I read in a magazine that there's something called Games as a Service. Make me one of those. I don't want to be that guy. So that's what we do. We do Horizon, we do God of War, we do Detroit, Uncharted, The Last of Us. These are the things we're going to continue to, you know, lean into really strong. So I see our content story, you know, continue to play out that way.
Now, I know a lot of people don't see this as direct comments against Electronic Arts, but it's pretty clear the gaming industry is not happy with what Electronic Arts has said and done. But even with all these publishers calling out EA on their BS, some companies have defended the idea of microtransactions and loot boxes that have now come under fire. Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar Games and 2K Games, was asked about their thoughts on the Battlefront 2 controversy, and Take-Two president Carl Sladoff said the issue was all about content and about over-delivering on it and on making sure that the focus is on engagement. He further said, as long as you keep your eyes on the ball, you're going to be okay because the consumer is going to be really happy with what they get. Take-Two has also been under fire for their microtransactions in NBA 2K18, and what they're pretty much saying is as long as you over-deliver, then microtransactions are fine. Personally, looking at how bad NBA 2K18 has been handled, I would say that there is not any justification for implementing manipulative microtransactions even if you over-deliver. EA's reputation is as bad as it gets right now. From these comments, they have also indicated the type of company that they wish to be, which tells me I probably will not be purchasing an EA game for a very long time. Besides just consumers and publishers calling out EA on their BS, lawmakers like Chris Lee of the state of Hawaii are now looking to pass laws to prevent microtransactions from being purchased by anyone under 21.
And that's actually crafting bills. One of the things we have to do is actually turn a conceptual idea like prohibiting loot boxes to people who are under 21 into actual legal language which can be applied effectively.
As Chris Lee has noted, the video game industry is fighting back behind the scenes, so even if it is nice to see all these publishers make jokes at EA, it's important to understand many of them have done similar BS things, like Bethesda with the disaster that is the Creation Club, and Blizzard, whose parent company is Activision Blizzard, which have done so many shady things in recent years it's hard to keep up with. But even considering all of this, it still is pretty nice to see Electronic Arts finally get called out for their years of anti-consumer behavior, which honestly honestly is a lesson to other publishers like Take-Two, Warner Brothers, and Activision. Anyway guys, what do you think about these publishers roasting and dissing EA? Let me know in the comment section below, but also make sure to smack that like button if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.